This has been a tough time for all of the states, certainly for Tennessee, but it's also really been a time of opportunity for us with some major investments.
The state of Tennessee has brought in $4 billion in CapEx in the last 7 years. Almost 3,000 companies, from Volkswagen to semiconductor companies.
Right.
How did you do that?
When the economy gets soft like it has, a state like Tennessee becomes even more attractive, I think, as a place to locate business.
Have businesses responded more favorably to you as the founder of Help America Corp?
Well, I think businesses have responded well, and not because I don't think because I'm a former CEO, but because we've conducted ourselves in a business-like way.
But you're a former CEO, so if you're talking to the CEO of a Volkswagen,
Right.
for example, asking them to bring business to the state,
Right.
those conversations are different.
Well, they're different, although, the company I was CEO of was a nice company with a lot of employees, but it was not Volkswagen by a long shot. I don't think it's so much two CEO buddies talking as it is just someone who's been there, who's made some of these decisions about where you put investments. I think they find it refreshing to find a politician who's interested in those things.
And our viewers, investors, businessmen and women, are interested in the idea that the states could be the next entity to fail. They're worried about that. If states, bigger states, like California or Michigan, fail, do they bring down states like Tennessee with them?
It cannot be good if California, Michigan, and New York, and New Jersey, even some of these states that you've heard about having significant issues, that can't possibly be a good thing for the country or a good thing for the economy. If a California were to fail, I mean, that would be like a couple of those big investment banks failing. It's not no telling where that stops, and we need to figure out how to make sure that doesn't happen.
Is there a palpable sense that the states could fail when you're meeting with governors across the country?
I don't think anyone thinks in terms of failure because they sort of can't imagine it happening, and I think they always think Uncle Sam will somehow step in and, fix it all up.
Help is arriving.
I think there's a lot of feeling that there's going to have to be some more stimulus or something like that. In a lot of states, we didn't do it here, but an awful lot of states took that money and treated it as continuing money, not as a one-time help. So that actually a lot of states coming this January have a cliff that they've got to navigate. And I already think the critical time for the states is going to be the first quarter of this coming year. That's the thing that's going to be difficult for them to get through, because the ones that haven't cut their budgets but have filled them in with stimulus money, that money disappears on January 1st, and there's going to be some dislocation. You're going to see some problems. I think that as long as investors in bonds, for example, are willing to look on a state-by-state basis and not lump all states into some category, they can find great bargains in there. We just, in the middle of this whole thing, had our AAA rating restored, which we'd lost a decade ago. I think in part because of the way we handled this. I just tell people in the state here that in business, you don't earn your pay in the good years, you earned it in the tough ones.